back with the Afterwatch, watching My Hero Academia. It's the OVA Season 1 Save Rescue Training for Jump Festa. That's like the longest title.
That is a lot of words. That is a lot of words.
All right. Okay. But I'm Tim.
I'm Evan.
That's right. Oh, what happened to always Evan?
Well, I am always Evan. But
that's true.
Today I'm Evan.
Yeah. It was just how we set it up, I guess.
It was. You served it a little low. I couldn't spike it.
But anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. We are going to talk all about this OVA from Season 1. Before we get there, though, be sure you're subscribing and sharing and commenting and reviewing and all the things we always talk about, you know?
Yeah, do all that stuff because we really appreciate it. And
we're getting a lot of reviews. I appreciate it. I want to see more.
It's really cool. Yeah, bring it.
At some point, we're gonna have to go to maybe have like a drive to get 100 reviews or something. I don't know. What do you think?
What do the listeners get? What's the drive?
No. Well, we're just driving to get there.
Are we just gonna get into a car and drive? That's the drive to 100.
I don't know. We're at the time of recording. We're at 66.
Okay. Yeah, we've got some room.
So first off, we kind of get a recap. It feels weird to be back in Season 1.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, it took me a minute to kind of like wrap my head around like seeing the old suits and seeing everybody still like as beginners, basically. Some of the stuff that goes on in this episode, I'm like, oh, dude, Full Cowling could have handled this entire episode.
Yeah.
But there is no full cowling, so...
No, we get the finger smash.
We get the finger smash. I was like, come on.
Like it was kind of nice to see. Nostalgic.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
But anyway, so it starts out, we're getting the recap from Aizawa, Eraserhead, about how the villain showed up that first time for that USJ attack.
Right.
And took out 13. All Might showed up, and then Ida, of course, grabbed all the other teachers.
And a bunch of students were injured.
Yeah, but everyone we know basically got out okay, except for Deku got kind of messed up.
Yeah.
He always does.
Every time.
Well, I feel like now he doesn't as much because he's gotten smarter. But back in the day, well,
he's also gotten stronger.
That's true.
Because a lot of it was self-inflicted before.
It was. Yeah, because remember how many times was it like, okay, some fight's over, he's in there with Recovery Girl, just
ridiculous.
Anyway, so it's 4 weeks later, they're back training at that same place.
Yep.
I kind of like this because it kind of shows you what would have happened. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, it shows you what would have, shows you what did.
But 13, she's still all like hurting, her back is all hurting still.
Right.
Aizawa's still in that mode where his face is all bandaged up.
Right.
All Might's not there. They even mention it, but it's kind of put off to the side.
Yeah, Deku says, hey, All Might's supposed to be here. And Aizawa's like, yeah, forget about that guy.
And of course that comes back at the end. But Deku's like, oh man, is he upset? Is there something wrong?
Right.
Always, overthinking it.
What did I do?
Right. Okay. But so the first thing, it's going to be some rescue training.
It literally, like the entire episode is rescue training up until things go awry.
Yeah. I mean, what this is it's a original animation. They made this up for the Blu-ray or whatever, so there's a special event. They always have OVAs for a lot of these big seasons. Jump Festa is an annual party or expo in Japan. It's all about manga and anime. Yeah, it started in 1999, is held for 2 days in December.
And I think they do the whole fourth wall break and mention it at some point.
It's true.
It's
I
hilarious.
Didn't get to that part yet, but I love that part.
Right? It caught me off guard because I didn't know about Jump Festa until after I saw that, and I had to pause the episode and like look it up because I was like, "What is she talking about?" And then I started cracking up because I was like, you just called yourself an anime. Like, that was awesome.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The first 3 kids that go to the bottom of the chasm or whatever, right?
Right.
One's supposed to be unconscious, one's hurt, and one's worried. Of course, it's like the big 3 from season 1. It's Deku, Uraka, and Ida, right?
Right.
It's kind of weird because Ida's kind of faded into the background a little bit at this point, season 3,
Yeah, so to bring him back and being like, he was a primary player. in the
Yeah,
first
he was a
season.
big player. I think all the way up until the Stain arc,
Yes. Post Stain, he kind of fell off.
which is weird because I think there's some ebb and flow to some of these characters too. We'll see with season 4, a lot of main characters kind of drop off a little too. Did you love how Uraka gets all up in Deku's face and she's like, "It's always so close."
Yeah.
He's It's back to those days where
It
he's so
is.
freaked out about her still.
Yeah. And it cracks me up because I mean, there's got to be feelings between those two. I mean, obviously on her side, but there's got to be something for him. Like
Well, yeah,
I'm just
by the
waiting for
time
that moment when they actually have him show it.
yeah, well, Deku's probably at nosebleed,
Oh,
part.
super nosebleed.
That's where they're at, I think. Um, but the people that have to save them, you got Bakugo, Todoroki, Tokiyami, and Momo. And that's I mean, it's season 1. I don't think that Todoroki and Momo had really done much. Even Tokiyami, right?
Yeah, that's right. This is probably the first time that they actually kind of have a big sort of role.
Yeah. And it's weird because I think the first time we actually see Todoroki's powers are during that USJ attack, right? And same with
Yeah.
Momo.
Yep, that's right.
So I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of like they knew these people were going to be big in the whole thing scheme of things.
Well, I
Anyway,
mean, they're the
yeah, and then
writers, so yeah.
right, exactly. And they probably well, they also could see where the manga was going because the manga's ahead of it,
Oh, that's
you know?
right. That's right.
Yeah, so they can see that too. But of course, Bakugo's upset because he has to save Deku, and Sue breaks that fourth wall, right?
Yeah. It's so good though. It's so good.
Yeah. But what's funny is Bakugo starts arguing, and even though Todoroki takes point, 13 is totally enamored with him, right?
Oh yeah.
Momo does rush up and do the whole thing where you're supposed to reassure the victims for the first
Oh
thing you do.
yeah.
And it's kind of weird because we just did the provisional license stuff, and that's kind of an echo of that. But this happened before, you
Before.
know?
Yeah, so they should be prepared for the provisional license stuff with that.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
That's what OVAs do. They kind of try.
Yeah, I
They,
don't even know if they're canon, really.
right.
It's up in the air. And of course, Mineta is being super creepy, checking out the girls.
Dude, yeah. The
I don't
level
know.
yeah, maybe it's just because and you mentioned this to me before that OVAs tend to always like just shove in fan service.
They
I,
do a lot of
I
times.
never really thought about that until this episode. I was like, Jesus, it's so in your face. And it's not like the typical My Hero Academia feel.
It's a little overboard.
It is. Maybe if this was how they played it from the start, then I'd be
Yeah,
like,
but they
okay,
don't.
cool, because it's funny. It definitely is funny if that was the kind of anime we were watching. It's not that kind of anime. It's not a fan service anime. It's definitely
And
not.
all ages.
Yes, it's in all ages for sure.
Yeah.
So it was kind of for me, it felt like a little bit of a disappointment that they went that far.
I mean,
Um,
they've gone a little far. How many times does he talk about harems and stuff?
he talks about it, but never do they have the girls bending over and him totally like perving on them,
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Well,
right?
it's only this OVA, right?
No, no, no.
Really? It was the other one too?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to talk about when we get there.
Oh yeah.
So we're still on that first time. They have to go down and rescue Ida and Uraka and Deku. And
Right.
She can't stop laughing.
Yeah.
She's giggling because Ida is so in the moment. It's kind of like that what was that villain when he was the villain during season
Yeah.
1? Yeah, Tokiyami goes down and has Dark Shadow basically push her up, right?
And it's so funny because there's that point where he's arguing with Dark Shadow. He's like, Dark Shadow move. And he's like, oh, you can't tell me what to do. He's got this super attitude with him.
yeah, it's so early My Hero Academia. It's funny.
Yeah. And Deku's just super like, oh man, he's so cool. And you could tell that Tokiyami's just kind of like, oh, is he really? Oh, that's cool. All right. Yeah. He's like kind of like blushing, you know?
Yeah,
So
but this
I
is
thought that
where
was cool.
13 really goes into the whole how Bakugo is amazing.
Yeah.
Sarah's just there like I don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a hard pass on what you're saying.
Yeah, but then we get some more rescues. We have Uraka basically floating abandoned Sue up.
Yeah,
Uh
which was really cool because everyone's like, "Oh, how are we gonna get her up?" And then boop, they're like, "Oh, she's genius."
but it's also awkward because Deku catches her and then she's like, "Put me down. This is
Right? This
embarrassing."
is embarrassing. Put me down. Call me
Yeah.
sir.
Oh, it kind of is though.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I,
I
I
don't know.
guess
They're young. I feel like she's almost like kid sister to him.
I can see that. Yeah.
Do you know that kind of feel?
Yeah, she doesn't have that, I don't know, she definitely has that kid sister or girl not even a girl next door feel. It's very, very much like little kid sister.
Yeah, something like that. Where because you have a lot of girls that do kind of fixate on Deku a little bit. Maybe not fixate, admire him, flirt with him. I can think of not just Uraka, but of course Hatsume and stuff, right?
Right.
But she's not really that way. Then they go to a new area where they're doing rescues, more rescues. They have 8 people are being are rescuers. 16 have to hide, and then 8 of which can't talk. So it's a lot of search and rescue, right?
Yeah, big old hide and seek game. That's what they
Yeah.
call it.
And of course, Bakugo, Uraka, Deku, and Mineta are the rescuers.
Right. Freaking nerd, why am I always with you?
Yeah, and that's again, they break the fourth wall.
Yep.
But Mineta, that's when he starts being creepy again, talking about, helping the girls, and Deku's like, "You're forbidden to touch or
Yeah, you're out.
do
Like,
anything with the
you can't
girls."
touch anybody with the girls. You're done.
Yeah. And of course, Bakugo is Bakugo, so he like blasts away and goes and does his own thing
Of
and leaves
course.
the other. And Deku has the idea of kind of like calling and trying to find the people that can talk first, right?
Right.
And anyway, Todoroki, we see him hiding, thinking about the whole Endeavor being his dad. He's still in the mode where he's half ice. He's not fire at all.
Yeah, he doesn't use the fire yet. That's right.
But then some random guy attacks, right?
It's a villain.
It is a big old villain. And the
Yeah.
next time we see Todoroki, he's basically out
Yep.
and being just like carried around, like kind of on the villain side,
From
just like,
from his belt. He's carrying him by his
yeah.
pants.
And this villain's basically coming after everyone because they're out there rescuing, and all of a sudden, Ida just starts running like, "No, get out of here!" They're doing what? Ojiro has the idea of helping people like with Mineta's balls,
Yeah.
and Uraka kind of saves Jiro and
Remember
all that
they
kind of stuff.
create that ladder out of his
Yeah,
balls and items that are there.
you're right, right, right.
Yeah. That was really
Um,
cool actually.
but the villain shows up. Aizawa won't help, so that's the first thing that should tell you that it's not like the other attack.
Remember they were like, we're injured. We can't really do anything, so they're kind of on their own.
Even 13's like, run away.
Yeah.
But Bakugo doesn't care. He takes him on. And you kind of see that, Bakugo really has the guts of anyone. No one else is going for it. But he's going, he even does that really cool, like, blast where he flies at the guy, does the, like, flip over, and then
Right.
blasts back to shoot him in the back.
Yeah.
And I think it surprises the villain, too.
I
But then
mean,
everyone's,
but it doesn't hurt the villain. The villain's like,
no, no,
you're a
no,
wussy.
no. They're still very underpowered, especially when the villain does one blast and like clears a huge
Oh,
section of the place there, and Deku's like, "What the heck who is this person?" Right?
right? And then he talks about how, oh, this guy must have been hiding here the whole time. Like,
Right.
how was he
But then
getting
there's
here?
but there's also the moment when while Bakugo is blasting him, Deku uses one of Mineta's balls to save Todoroki, basically stick it and grab him.
Yep, yep.
And then he turns around and does the finger smash, that he
Yep.
doesn't really do that anymore, but
No.
back in the day, that's all he could handle.
Yeah.
Pre Gran Torino, the whole, all the full cowling and everything.
Yeah, yeah. The early years.
Yeah, yeah. But he basically blasts him, and then he doesn't even really do anything to the villain, but then one
It
more
was a
shot.
motive. It was a mode of distraction.
It was. Bakugo blasts him, and then the villain flies back into a wall where it has a bunch of Mineta's balls that are basically stick him to this little, what was that? Just like a rock?
It was a giant cinder block or a giant piece of concrete that was like a
Oh,
piece
yeah,
of
from the
destroyed
blast.
wall. Yeah, from the blast.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, and of course, they unmask the person, it's All Might.
Well, they don't even unmask him. Remember, he unmasked himself.
Oh, you're
He
right.
unmasks himself and he's like, "Ha ha, it's me!" And they're like,
And then
"You
everyone's
mother!"
pissed
They beat the hell out of him.
because you went overboard.
Yeah, they're
And
like,
you even
"What? What
see
the hell?"
Eraserhead was opposed to it.
Yep, yep. Then we get the flashback where he's like, "I'm gonna do this," and they're like, "Dude, they just dealt with this. Like, they need time to recover." And he's like, "No, they got to realize this is a learning experience. They got to realize that at any given time, you got to be put in this situation, so you got to be ready for it, regardless of where you are in your head."
I guess it's right. Todoroki like slow walking away, and it kind of ends with that. But let's
Yeah, I mean, but then you also get the little they flash over to Todoroki actually working with him. That when All Might snagged him up, he was like, "Hey, it's me. I need you to work. I
that's
want you to play with me."
true.
And they're like, "All right, yeah, okay, that's cool."
Yeah, but because of that, he wasn't part of the whole stopping the villain,
Right, right. He was just kind of there, part
which
of the
is weird
situation.
because they even call out that he's the strongest. Right at that point, they everyone thinks he's the strongest.
And that's where they were kind of like, "Oh man, this guy's got the strongest. We're in super trouble."
Well, I think they call him that because he was the walk on. Right?
Yeah,
You're still in that era.
him and Momo were the walk-ons at this time.
Anyway. Is it weird to you that Mineta was so they kept bringing him around like he's front and center a lot? He's even part of the main group in that second four rescue time.
Uh I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't think it's weird because of the time period, you know.
But he's yeah, they really there's a lot of his power being used. Rescuing,
But I
fighting
mean,
All Might.
honestly, I think that the whole purpose is that because he is that pervy portion and they want him to be front and
Oh yeah,
center
okay. I guess
just
you're
for
right.
that. I mean, honestly, yeah, that's what I think.
That's probably right. And you still hadn't we hadn't got to the point where Kaminari was part of that too.
No, the dynamic duo is not a dynamic duo yet.
It's too early. But anyway, so overall, what did you think?
I mean, this one was okay.
Hmm.
I didn't really, it didn't like keep me captured. It had the funny moments,
Yeah,
of the breaking the fourth wall where I cracked
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Um, I could have done without the fan service portion of it,
yeah.
just because it kind of took away from the true My Hero Academia feel
The
as far as
tone.
I was concerned. It kind of didn't give it that serious feel. I mean, it definitely stood out as being a one off.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess I'm just used to OVAs.
I mean, it
They
didn't
kind of
even
push the limits.
if you think about it. I mean, even like the movies, Hero Rising and Two Heroes, they didn't have any of that.
Yeah, but I think that's also catering to a big audience too. That's not
I guess.
OVAs are kind of side stories, I guess.
Uh,
Or not even maybe not even canon. I don't know. We can talk about that. What do you
yeah,
think?
I don't know, man. I
Because
have
there's
mixed
no
feelings
manga
about it.
for this.
There would have been if it I don't know. I mean, this episode, I guess it gave purpose because it showed us what they would have had to have gone through originally for the training, and that
Yeah, and
they
I
and
kind of
that they
like that.
actually got to go back and experience the training, which was cool.
Right.
But then, All Might ended up showing up and screwing things up again, so it
Yeah.
ended up
Did
not
you
being a full
notice
training anyway. So that everyone got pissed
one
off, beat him up, and then you see him like his little ooh, like the little ghost of him like falling out of his body because they all beat him up. This is where you can tell that it was an OVA because there's no way in heck that any of those students would have even thought to do that to him. They would have been mad at him, but they have so much respect for All Might that they would have been like, dude, this was insane. But they never would have gotten mad and started beating him up. So
Yeah,
that's
I think it
another
just kind of
way.
pushes it a little bit.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
go over the line a little bit and all these jokes.
Yeah, again, it's where it kind of pushes it into that. If it was that kind of anime with the fan service and stuff, then yes, it
Hmm.
totally fits. It has that kind of feel.
Did you notice that the outfit that All Might is wearing is the same one that he wears in that Save the World with Love bank robbery?
I do notice that. Yeah.
So I wonder if you'd seen that OVA before, you would have known, or because it kind of took me out because as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's All Might."
Well, and so yeah, I mean, for me, I was like, yeah, it's All Might. Okay, like it was a dead giveaway. The second
Yeah,
he popped out, I knew it was him.
yeah. Because
But
who else would use that unless
I'm trying to think.
they?
Did the OVA come out?
Yeah, 'cause that was in season 3.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a much farther down the line. And they didn't really reference it except for, oh, All Might's wearing some kind of villain outfit
Right.
in that episode. So they didn't say, oh, All Might's wearing the outfit that that one villain wore, you know?
Yeah, but I thought, well, but in the robbery, we knew that that was All Might in the robbery.
Correct. Right from the beginning, you knew it was All Might. So that's the first OVA. We'll get to the next one next week. But I did want to bring up, we had multiple comments, people writing in. So they were talking about how I brought up maybe wanting to do the manga in the interim after we cover season 4. And we had a couple people say, well, if you're going to do that, why don't you do the Vigilantes manga?
Oh, and it just so happens you are deep into that manga.
I actually am caught up to date now.
Look at that.
But the
Okay.
thing is, I just don't know that it's worth a whole show, like a whole feed, you know? Like there are
Ah,
certain things that are cool,
uh-huh.
but I don't know if it would take away from things.
Well,
Like it's really good backstory.
okay. Well, why don't we ask the listeners? I mean, do you guys think that when we dip into the manga world, that we hit vigilantes? I mean, I like the idea because it keeps us from digging into further past our regular seasons.
Yeah.
And it keeps me from, seeing more than
Okay.
I want to see, because I don't want to read the mangas, because I want to experience this series in the anime. Um,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I do like the idea of doing the vigilantes just for that purpose, just to keep My Hero Academia pure for my own.
Right. My only thing is, and maybe people can tell me what they think of this too. My opinion after reading it is it's kind of a mixed bag. Like it's not always good.
Well, okay, okay,
It's recently that you can tell that they're reworking a lot of stuff. Like in the last, I don't know, 20 chapters or whatever you want to call it, issues. Things really changed. They had a whole like 10 issue arc where it was just about Eraserhead in school and his friends. So it was really actually kind of cool because you saw President Mike back then. Even then, he didn't really figure in too much. It
okay,
was a lot more about his friend, this guy Loud Cloud, who figures into the main manga later on.
okay.
But you also see Midnight. You see Midnight as a
Oh,
third year,
do we get to see the original suit?
which is basically a big combat belt and a jean jacket and nothing else.
That's hilarious.
It's ridiculous. You think this is bad fan service? Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
But yeah, there's some good moments. And you learned, I don't know if it's a backstory. You kind of a lot of what I've learned about Eraserhead, because he is almost in every issue chapter.
Okay.
You understand him a lot more, like why he's like. Let me ask you this: why do you think he's tired all the time?
Cause he's a nighttime guy. He's a night owl.
Yeah,
He's got insomnia.
yeah.
He likes to party.
No, no. He basically is one of those overthinking, really conscientious people.
I can
And
see
that's
that.
why I guess that they even early on say you'd make a good teacher because you really think about people and really overthink how things should be, and like he's super serious when he gets into any situation, right?
Right.
But even in school he's like, if there's a part where it's just too boring for him or he knows what's about to happen, he even in school he was getting in that sleeping bag. It's really funny.
Even in school.
But so, and of course I'll tell you, yeah, he's a night owl. Yeah, he doesn't sleep. He just goes out and patrols at
Right.
night. So he gets his sleep in during the day when the kids are doing, stupid whatever they're voting on or whatever, right?
Right.
So I don't know. What do you think? Let us know. What do you guys think? Would you like us to talk about vigilantes? We could probably do 2 or 3 chapters at a time and get through it. There's only about 70 so chapters right now.
Okay. That's not too
Yeah.
many.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of, I don't know. If you think this episode's filler, there's a lot
A
of
lot of
filler.
filler. Oh man.
Yeah, it's kind of like these main two people, the Crawler and Pop Step. They're kind
Okay.
of goofballs, and then you just have pro heroes come in and out of their daily life. So
Yeah, I'll leave it up to I'll leave it up to the listeners to tell us if they truly want us to dip into the vigilantes.
yeah, I'll tell you why
I'll
I
give it a
started. Do
try.
you want to
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
why I
yeah,
started reading it?
yeah.
So, have you heard about um the ninja vigilante Stendhal?
No.
It's pretty early on in the manga. I don't know if this is. I don't think is backstory spoilers.
If that person's gonna end up later in the show, yeah.
Okay, so
So we won't talk about him.
okay. Anyway, if you were interested, Stendhal is a good reason to read because it sets up a lot of what is going on in the main whatever show, anime, manga, whatever.
Okay.
His involvement with the heroes. It's a big deal. Anyway, and with that, our watch has ended.
Yes.
I've been Tim.
I've been Evan.
All right, take care, guys. We'll see you next week.
You guys have a good one.
Hey, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?